Anyway, there's only so much I can say. Over the course of the next few coming weeks, you'll see. I'm not going to be saying anything to you. You're going to see for yourself how students are progressing, how traders are overcoming problems that they once found very difficult or impossible to overcome. I'm just going to let those clips show themselves over the next few weeks and onwards, and you'll see consistently how traders are improving and they're overcoming issues. I actually like the taste of shilajit. A lot of people don't. I really like the taste of it. Imagine overdosing on vitamin D. I don't even think that's possible. I'm gonna have that in the morning actually. You got my electrolyte water here. So I actually got some new gloves. Now, well, you can see that. These are Twins gloves. Twins is a fantastic brand. I'm not affiliated, by the way, but I should be. Twins and Fairtex are probably the best brand for Thai boxing gloves I can recommend. These are 12 ounce. They're brand new as well, fresh leather. I actually originally thought, I know it doesn't look like it, but on the pictures, it looked like a Thailand flag. When I received it, it's the Union Jack. Don't mind at all. I'm just saying.
Same message across all of your IGs and all that stuff. I mean, I will happily help facilitate that when I'm up there, and I'm sure he'll be much more warm to it when I'm up there. And so I feel like we're gonna have
What makes the candles more premium then?
Pardon?
What makes the candles more
They're
premium?
all still handmade,
Right.
and then it's the oil concentration in them as well.
Just put me in a sec on that.
Let me think.
If you alright, when you're a millionaire, what would you want someone to get you for your birthday? Okay, now thanks, mate.
Something that connects me back to my childhood again.
Tickets to a Muay Thai fight.
No, I'd be dead.
That's what you can't buy anyone anything. The most smallest gifts can be the most dearest
The
gifts.
best gift you can give someone is loyalty.
Right then, so when you make your first million,
Yeah, go on.
what are you getting your mum for her first birthday when you're a millionaire?
See, this is the thing. So if this, I don't know, but if it was me, my situation, no, because my point is, if it was my situation, you could go buy me a 200 grand Lambo, and then my brother could give me a card that he wrote himself, and you meant it by heart, and it mean more to me.
Okay, cool.
Do you get me?
No, 100%. I agree.
Just because someone put a kiss at the end and they meant it, I know it sounds gay, but you know he meant it, innit?
Yeah.
But if you could choose where he'd give you the kiss, where would it be?
What the fuck, man?
No, it's a serious question. That's a serious question.
It's a genuine question.
I don't think that head. What would you do? Where would you want it?
Right on the tip.
Of your nose?
Yeah.
Right. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing fantastic. So just breaking down my position here on JP225, I did take a break even on it in the end. Very simple reason, I'll explain why. Now, the only downside to this trade overall from the higher time frame is that we're in uncharted territory. That's the only downside to it. However, you can see that we've had a clear change in sentiment. That's what I really like about it. Okay, and as Mark explained, you've got this stall, but then you've got this shift. And that's the key thing. If this is going to shift, where is it going to shift to most likely? That's what you have to ask yourself. And there's only, so many reference points that you can use when you're in a position like this where it's not really trading at any highs, there's no inflection points, there's nothing there. So you have to take it with a pinch of salt that trades that you take in these kind of areas, they may not respond in a natural way that you're used to, where trades positioned, for example, in these areas would. And that's common knowledge to all of you, right? Barring the fact if you're new, this is probably the first time you're hearing that. If you're not new, then you've likely heard what I've said there multiple times over. Now, this range that we were trapped in, this is what I really like, and this is why it's not something that you should do often where you just skip past weeklies or dailies. It's very important that you pay attention to any key details on these time frames, ones that are necessary to look at in that sense, such as the fact that we've had this high being met and then we've followed through with the continuation, and now this continuation was the one that actually broke through structure lows on the left. That's the key detail. Secondary key detail on top of that is the fact that we've retested the back end of that with the daily candle. Now, I think at the time that this trade actually occurred, the daily candle didn't actually close, but you can see in hindsight how brilliant that is. But what you could see at the time of the trade was the 4 hour. So the 4 hour actually shows you The back end of this was retested with that. That's beautiful. That's the kind of price action you want to see. You've also got the 1, 2, and 3 retesting, sorry, trading into this 1 hour hook point here on the left here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 hour retesting the back end of that. You've also got this intersection here. Now, you don't always need these things, sorry. These are just great added bonuses to have on a position. So I don't want to paint it out as if these are necessities to have on a trade, but they're great when they're there, especially when on the higher time frame you're in a position where you're in uncharted territory. So that's very nice. 1 hour turnaround. Now this is where people can be way too perfect on positions, and this is such a key lesson here. Look at how much we've got from a higher time frame perspective, which already holds way more weight than anything on the 1 hour down. We've got everything that we need from a high time frame standpoint. We've got the 4 hour, the daily, all these kind of things. Now, when it comes to the lower time frame execution of it, people will look at that and then they'll think, oh, if we go to the 15, they'll place too much emphasis on these lows here. And they'll say, oh, well, you know what, it's on the lows and it's not really the best, and we've got this corrective price action, and they'll find their way out of a position and unnecessarily hesitate on a trade. The simple way to alleviate that is understand market psychology. If this was going to turn around and go to the upside, what would it look like? All right, so if it's to tag you in and go up, would it make sense for it to form 1, 2, 3 with this, retesting the back end of that, push lower, and then form a continuation if all it was going to do was tag you in, tag you out? Where would it go to? All the way up there? So when you start to piece these things together, it starts to make sense as to why, right, there's no reason for me to hesitate on this position. There's no reason for me to stay out of this trade. That is what you call being too perfect. And what happens is people place too many unnecessary details on the wrong things, and then they start to make the unnecessary things too necessary. It's the problem. All right, and that's why you potentially are staying out of many trades, and then they'll look at that and say, oh, it's high risk. That's not what you call a high risk position. Anyway, going down to here, set the entry on that. Granted, the fact it's a little bit steeper, but what's it really going to turn into? Steeper corrections usually turn into more structured flags, right? Well, draw it on. If that was to do it, let me replay it back for you. Let me just lock and hide this. Alright, check this out. So if this was to form that structured flag, it would normally operate like this. Does that make sense over there? To form. Sequence-wise, does it make sense? No. Even the structure in and of itself, does it make sense? No. The first touch is overextended. So because the chances of this occurring are lower, the chances of this playing out are naturally, subsequently going to be higher. So you see, when you actually break it down, it is a lot of common sense. You know, and to the trader coming in that's new, it won't be common sense to you, obviously, because you've got to yet build that experience. But the more of market scenarios that you look at like this, the better that you'll get and the quicker that you'll get better. Because if you look at it any other way, you're naturally going to make it more difficult than it needs to be. So look at it for what it is and start to make sense of it together. So you've got all the knowledge and the resources, just use that to, not to force a trade, right? There's a very thin line and a very fine line between what I've explained here versus you just justifying a bias. See, I'm explaining it for traders who hesitate. If you're somebody who you don't have any problem hesitating, and in fact you've got a problem from staying out of the market, then what you're going to do is you're going to take what I've mentioned and weaponize it against yourself, which can really damage your growth and also your account growth as well, and a confidence. Because what you'll do is you'll find then factors in the market to justify that bias and think, right. So a funny story about these services. When I used to have my bar, I drove to Kent once. And miraculously, these were the services that I ended up in. And it's just crazy, wherever you go, I didn't even know the name of these services. I took a different route this time, and it just so happened to be I landed at those exact same services. Can't go wrong with some olives, good fats, good energy. The weather's absolutely brilliant today. Here's me wearing a cap. I never wear a cap, but I'm going to take this beauty to get cleaned as well. As soon as I land, there's a car wash, so I'm going to get this cleaned. So I just finished the gym. I did a quick session, did some running, did some weights. Apparently we've got a bigger gym upstairs, so I'm going to try that out tomorrow morning. So I'm going to wake up at like 9, 10 a.m. and just go to the gym. I think the gym opens at that time anyway. Just met Abdu and Ib in the sauna. Obviously I can't take this in there because it's too hot and I don't want to burn it. But yeah, we just had a nice little sauna session, quick little swim. I'm going to go back up, get changed, get fresh, and I need to do some work. I'm going to build my watch list, do some work, and probably head out for some food later on as well. Alright, let's go eat some food. Car's clean. Gas me. Gas man's ringing me. Hello?
Yeah, Bab.
Hey, voice message me now. I'll see you guys after if that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go meet Ib and Abdu now.
Well, it looks bloody orange from the glasses, that's why. So I was actually in the lobby area before and it was super loud in there, so I spoke to the receptionist and I said I need somewhere quiet, and I just about happened to make it into here. So I've got an entire meeting room all to myself, as you can see here. I look very tired right now because I am. It's currently midnight at the moment and I'm doing some charts, as you can see. This video might be out a day later. I will do my best. Currently it's Saturday midnight, so Mark's wedding is tomorrow and I won't get a chance tomorrow at all, so I'm going to see what I can do, and I'm working away, but I've got to get some chart work done. I've got to get a lot of stuff done at the moment. Scanning the markets for the week ahead, they're looking very nice actually. So I've just got CAD yen here as well. These are just some additional pairs that I'm going to have on. Aussie CADs are looking very nice, nicely positioned. As you can see, these weekly highs. So what's interesting about these highs is if you look left here, the first batch of highs, these were at 94.80. These highs are actually higher. The fact that we broke this high and we could be retesting the new higher high is one thing I've got in mind here, as you can see there. So 1, 2, 3 approach. But one thing I'm really paying attention to is this high above here. This is extremely important. The reason being is because we near missed once, we near missed twice, and we're coming in the third time. This could just be volume to basically break out higher. So what I'm going to make sure is that the lower time frame price action has to be fitting. I can't just be taking a short without a clear change in sentiment, and the only time frame I'm going to use for that is the 4 hour. That's Aussie CAD anyway. AJ, I've got this one on as a little bit of a wild card. It's positioned very nice. We just need that lower time frame price action to follow through. Ideally, we basically clear this area. I want to see a complete breakthrough of this, or even a continuation form through it. Anything along those lines would be nice. And then Aussie Kiwi. Aussie Kiwi is very simple. We've got these weekly highs up here, so I'm literally looking for price to come into that area and then sell off some. Keep you guys posted as well what we have on watch for the week ahead. Right guys, so it's the next morning. Gonna have some of this now and I'm gonna head over to the gym.